everybody, it's Scott from Racing for ALS. I want to take just a brief moment here and answer the two big questions that we've received from several hundred of you this week, which is A, what happened on the track at VIR last week, and B, what happens next for Racing for ALS. Number one, before I do that, I want to say thank you again for all of the text messages, emails, calls. Honestly, it was overwhelming. And just, for those who have been able to let us know either how much ALS, or our fight against ALS means to you, and or, for some folks, especially my family members, who were letting me know that, maybe they're not thrilled with the idea of us getting back in the car and expressing their care and their love. And I appreciate that. I appreciate the fact that people care. It's obviously better than the alternative. Finally, again, I would say my apologies. My wife has made it exceedingly clear that the picture I had posted last week at the track, trying to just get the word out there about what had happened and that I was okay, really scared some people, and I'm sorry about that. I'm hoping that you will watch and see on our Instagram channel or wherever, Facebook, whatever, though, that everything that was crumpled and what you saw crumpled in that picture from hitting the tire wall was supposed to crumple. The frame, the cage, everything underneath that, none of that buckled at all. I mean, there's literally zero damage. It's kind of like a Volvo or a Saturn with the crumple zones. That's how Hendrick built that car. So we are rebuilding the car, and that kind of starts to answer some of that question, is that we will be back on track because we feel like it is important for us to keep up our fight and our efforts to raise awareness for ALS research. However, it is going to be different, and here's what I mean by that. What happened last Sunday at VIR that you're about to see in the video started well before last Sunday. I had gotten to the point that going out and driving wasn't fun for me anymore. And it wasn't fun for me kind of starting last October when the first incident happened, because my brother couldn't be on track with me anymore. And that was why we started all this, was so my brother and I could go out and build memories and have fun and do all these kind of things. And I've got a video from last October when we had our first incident, basically just talking about how much ALS sucks. And the problem is when you're driving a car, you can't go out there distracted. You can't, you've got to be focused in on what you're doing. And both times these incidents have happened, I just wasn't there. I wasn't mentally right, on those particular days. And I chose to go out anyway, and I paid a price for it. And that's a mistake. The other mistake that I made is that, again, I had become obsessed with lap times, wanting to get the highest lap time to post on Instagram or Facebook or YouTube or whatever. I guess, I don't know. I say I was trying to win the invisible cup, or like the Instagram cup, like I was trying to impress, people for some reason, or, bring about notoriety for the charity or whatever I was trying to do. But it was a mistake, and it was the wrong focus. And, Lance McGrew, who is a famous Hendrick crew chief who does all the builds for Track Attack and has a great team working with him building these cars. And he's become a really good friend of ours. He's a good dude, through all of this. He said to me so many times, hey bud, this is supposed to be fun. You don't need to put new tires on, leave the old tires on and just go run slower laps. Just go have fun, just go enjoy yourself. And I just wasn't there anymore because, again, I was focusing on the wrong things. I was focusing on the fact that my brother wasn't there. I was focusing on, trying to set lap time. So again, when I go back on track, it's going to be different. I'm going to be going a lot slower, a lot more manageable, so that if something happens like it did on Sunday, there's actually room, there's something we can do about it, to be able to, hopefully not have this happen again. So with all that said, let's get to what I know a lot of you wanted to see. Let's look at the video of what actually happened on Sunday. We're going to start with a full speed view, and then they're going to do a slow-mo view so I can kind of talk you through exactly what went down, and we'll go from there. So as you can see, I'm out. This is lap number 6 in my second session. So I was about 17 or 18 laps in that day. Good and warmed up, should have been good to go. Sun had just come out. There's a little water still under the bridge, but what you're going to see as we come up the hill, there's a couple of cardinal rules in road racing. First off, you never watch the car in front of you, and sadly, that's what I started to do here. He took an odd line to me into the S's, and I was watching him. The problem is, while that was happening, I was still traveling, so I went in shallow. Yeah, it still hurts. So again, I got here and realized I was offline, and I tried to put a last-second steering adjustment into it, and you just can't do that there. I know that. Eric Myers, who's a huge NASA coach, he was the first one to tell me, don't ever turn your wheels I've trained other people not to turn their wheels, but in that moment, because I was going to go off track left, I tried to turn, and this is what happens. So when you compare the laps here, you'll see I should have been farther right. The lap up top is the lap from before, and I should be farther right. And then that way you can really swing hard to the left and hit the black mark on the track to swing hard back to make the car turn. I just didn't do that for whatever reason. Well, again, because I was watching the car in front of me. So we'll never do that again, I can assure you.